before you got out of here, you alluded to it a little bit in the middle of our last conversation. What did you want to talk about? It sounds like you have to get something off your chest about the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you have to say?
The Kansas City Chiefs, right? So here's kind of where I stand on it. A lot of people are down. I think you may be down on him actually, on Patrick Mahomes and his performance for this season, saying that he looks extremely mediocre and he's not playing his best ball, which I'm not going to disagree with. Andy Reid as a play caller, a head coach, whatever the case may be. My thing on the Chiefs: if Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are who they are, who they shown us they are, who they were in the past, they're getting in the playoffs. And when they get in the playoffs, they are a dangerous team.
Absolutely.
Right? If they are who, and I'm gonna entertain all Patrick Mahomes has fallen off, has taken a step back, is not the same player, his deep ball is not as accurate. I'm gonna entertain all those conversations if they do not make the playoffs. But if they make the playoffs, those conversations, they have to be minimized. What do you think about that?
I don't think that any of what you just said has validity. I don't think that if they miss the playoffs, I don't think that that's something that should be entertained in any way, shape, or form. What I do think needs to be entertained is the fact that Andy Reid has completely lost his fastball. The offensive coaching staff who they have within the walls of the building currently is not able to get it done. And they haven't been able to get it done the last 3 seasons. And the issue, it just stems from Andy Reid's calling the plays. If you watch the Chiefs and what they do on a week-to-week basis, it's Patrick Mahomes, say height, and figure all of the issues that we have in this building out on your own. And Patrick Mahomes is just that talented and that good that he's actually able to then figure out those problems and be successful in spite of all of those things, just because of how talented he is. But really what it comes down to is just Andy Reid is just, he's past his prime. And I said this the other week, where right now it seems like that they're a year overstayed at this point. Because if you think they go and they win that Super Bowl last year, for example, Andy Reid's been flirting with retirement for the last 2-3 seasons. You have to think that Andy Reid, after they win that Super Bowl last year and complete the three-peat, that he's not walking off into the sunset. You think of the same thing with a Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce probably then goes ahead and walks off in the sunset. So I think that now we're watching a team who a coaching staff and who has overstayed their welcome a little bit, where that's what's holding back Patrick Mahomes from being the Patrick Mahomes that we all know and love. And I think he's actually playing really well this season and balling out, but it's only because of him. It's not because of anybody else. It's just because he's that good. The offensive scheme, the offensive play calling is just not significant. It's not sophisticated in any way, shape, or form. And just shout out to Patrick Mahomes to be able to overcome all of those shortcomings.
So do you think that, 2 questions, do you think that at the end of the season, Andy Reid and the Chiefs mutually agree to part ways?
Yes. I think it's one of those situations where I think he's going to retire no matter what. But if there is I might come back for one more season, I think it might be one of those situations where they look at him and be like, yeah, buddy, it's time to retire.
Time to go.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that. And then, well, I have another one after this too, actually. Do you think they make the playoffs?
Go ahead. I don't think that they make the playoffs this season. I think that they have a tough road ahead of them. I think that they put themselves behind the 8 ball. And in past years, when you're sitting here watching teams and having things bounce the right way for them, they've had things bounce the wrong way for them. And just because of the style of football that they play isn't a winning style of football. It's just trying to out chess match everybody all the time. And we haven't seen it happen this year. Even when you look at what happened with the Colts this past weekend, Patrick Mahomes has 352 yards rushing, or 352 yards passing. The defense holds Jonathan Taylor to 58 yards. Hold on, let me pull up the team stats here real quick, because I think it's even more significant than that. They have a ton of first downs. Their efficiency is great. They're good on offense, and they're in an overtime game against Daniel Jones where they could barely squeak out a win. So it's like, if you look at the statistics and the box score and everything that's going on, you would be like, oh, the Kansas City Chiefs dominated the Colts this past week, and they're just hardly squeaking out these wins. And I think that's the difference, where they just aren't as good as they have been in past years, where that's fine. Talent's going to go and walk out of the door all the time, but they've had a hard time figuring out that talent to bring back into the building to keep them relevant. And they're only relevant because of how good Patrick Mahomes is.
Okay. So you're saying they're not going to make it, right? I'm going to tell you their remaining schedule. You tell me if they win or lose. They play the Cowboys tomorrow. Is that a win or a loss?
I think the Cowboys win.
Cowboys beat the Chiefs.
I think so. Okay.
After that, they're going to play the Texans.
I think that's a 50-50 matchup. I think that will be a rock fight, 50-50 matchup.
Okay. Do you think it falls to the Chiefs, though, probably?
Yeah, we can give them a win in this situation if you'd like.
Okay. Week after that, Chargers.
I think the Chargers win that game.
Okay. And then it's Titans, Broncos, and Raiders.
The Titans, they obviously win. The Broncos, I mean, the Broncos are in a situation right now where they're the 1 seed. They're killing it. I think that they could, again, that's a 50-50 game, and I think that they beat the Raiders. The issue in all of this is that there could be a real chance where they could win some of these games down the stretch, and the Broncos be ahead of them in the standings, the Chargers be ahead of them in the standings, and they miss the playoffs. That's what happens when you put yourself behind the 8 ball the way that they did this year. So I think that they have a fighting chance to make the playoffs. I don't think that they do it this year.
What do you think? 42%, 55%? What are you thinking?
I think 50-50. I think it's a 50-50 shot they make the playoffs. I think you have to give Patrick Mahomes a 50-50 shot no matter what. Like, he's that good. I just think that I think that an early exit out of the playoffs or a no playoff appearance, you have to sit there and be like, what's the issue? What's the problem? And it's like, well, 4 years ago, they were putting up 35 points a game. Like, it was nothing. And they were one of the most electrifying offenses to watch in the entire NFL. The common denominator on all this is just the Chiefs have an Andy Reid problem at this point. And I think that his voice has potentially grown stale within that building. And that's something that they're just going to have to figure out at some point.
Hell yeah. Well, I just want to end on it on saying I disagree. I think the Chiefs are probably going to win out. I think they may lose one game. Yeah, I think they win out. I think they get hot. I think they beat the Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. I think they win out, and I think
that's crazy.
I think they're in there, and I think we're back on the Andy Reid found his magic touch. I think that's kind of gonna be the song everyone's singing come 5-6 weeks from now.
Hey, if that happens, we'll have you back on here for sure, because that will be definitely a massive talking point that we need to address. But hey, it was great to have you back on scheduled programming. It's great to hear from you. I miss you. I hope everything's great, and we'll talk soon, obviously.
Hell yeah, brother. I appreciate it. Listen closely.
Yes, sir. Listen closely. See you, brother.
I just spit it. Good girl, we're getting paper as a passion. Collect the stacks and bring it back, man, and take vision.